Hey, it's Parker. So today I'm going to show you how to set up what's a Kali Linux virtual machine on your desktop computer or your laptop. Now, one of the things you need to understand is Kali Linux is a distribution that was typically used for hacking because it has a lot of hacking tools, but most likely it's used by people who are what I would consider to be the good guys, the white hat. Okay, so let's start. Let's go to Oracle or go to Google and search Oracle Box, and you want to go to this is virtualbox.org. Oracle VM VirtualBox. So we're gonna go ahead and download this. It's about 3 meg, okay? And so you want to download it for whatever distribution. This video tutorial I'm going to be doing Windows based. So go ahead and click there, and then for your Windows host, it's right here. Click on it. Now, if you're running Mac or if you're already running Linux, you're probably already advanced and already have done this stuff. To be honest, you don't need to really do this if you're running Linux. But anyway, we're going to click on Windows host, and it's going to download the files. All right, and so I'm just going to put this in my downloads folder, and I'm just going to call it Oracle. I like to keep things somewhat organized, somewhat. All right, and so this will take just a little while to download. So that was actually 100. Oh, that was pretty quick. That was 103. All right, and so we're going to go ahead and go to our download folder. I'll drag this over, downloads. And we're going to go to the Oracle folder. It's really weird how that's organized, but I'm just going to, it's right there at the top. So today, and I'm going to right click, and we're going to run this administrator, because sometimes depending on how your computer's set up, you can have issues, okay? So running as administrator is a great way to kind of make sure that it has the rights it needs to install properly. I'm taking all the defaults on this. Yes, it may lose connection for a little bit, and we'll let this continue to install, okay? Now, this is going to be the basis of everything that I'm doing on the channel, because this is the kind of the beginning of me kind of walking through like the process of, getting familiar with becoming a red teamer or a security professional or a hacker. I mean, and hackers are a loosely used term, but the reality is, by the way, I clicked install. I've taken defaults on just about everything. Okay. And so we're going to let this finish, but the reality is it takes a while to become like the super scary person that you see on TV. Now, keep in mind, you do have to go into the BIOS. Now, if you don't know what the BIOS is, this is going to be tough. You probably shouldn't be doing this yet. You need to learn about basic computers, but when you boot the computer, it's a little screen full of text that comes up. And so you want to go there and you want to enter the BIOS settings. Usually it's like you hit F12 on your keyboard or F2 when you restart the computer, and it gives you an option to go into the BIOS setup. And then your BIOS setup, you'll need to look through it because it's different for every computer. There's a setting that says enable virtualization. You need to do that before you can do any of this, okay? Or it's not going to work. All right, you can install Oracle Box, but there's some steps that need to take place. So assuming that you've done that, now I'm going to go to Kali Linux. Now, there are tutorials out here that have already done this. Why am I doing this? Because it changes. Kali Linux, when I downloaded it last time, this process was different. So what you want to do here, we're going to go to downloads, but we're going to download a specific version. Let's go to dark mode. Okay, let's not default to white mode, light mode. Okay. All right. And so what we're going to download is the virtual machines, because that's what we're doing. We don't want bare metal is like if we were just installing this as instead of Windows, we're running Linux, but the Kali Linux, which is a version, their modified version of Linux, which is just like Windows and Mac, different operating systems. Now we're going to download the virtual machine here. For most machines, it's going to be 64-bit, and we're using Oracle VirtualBox. So I'm going to go ahead and click here, and we'll download the Oracle. Well, I'm going to make another folder called Kali, and I'll put it there. My folder could be a lot neater, but whatever. It is what it is. Now, this will take a little while to download, so I'll speed the video up to not allow you to have to sit there and to talk for the next 7 minutes. Okay, so we finished downloading, so I'm going to go click down here. I'm going to show the folder where it ran. This opened up on the screen, so I'll drag it over. All right, and so here's our Kali Linux virtual machine. What I like to do is I like to just copy the location just by clicking up here where it downloaded. I can close that, because now what I want to do is go to my virtual machine and choose file and import appliance. Okay, and local file system is fine. Click the little folder here, press and enter on the keyboard, and there it is. And I'm going to import this. I'm going to take the defaults next. It'll allocate 2 meg of memory or 2 gig of memory for the machine. And I'm going to go ahead and import. It's going to prompt, you must agree to this. Okay, feel free to read that if you want to. And it's going to start the process of importing. You see it's got about 2 minutes. So once again, I'll speed the video up and we'll move on to the next step. That was a lot faster than I thought. Now, if you try to start this, all right, let me show you something. It's going to give an error message, and I'm going to show you how to fix that. Or at least it did on my other machine. This might actually start, but I believe it's going to do the same thing and give an error message. Okay, there it is right there. This is not a problem. This is very easy to fix. If you click on the details, it says the implementation of USB 2.0 controller not found. Because the USB 2.0 controller state is part of the VM safe state, VM cannot be started. To fix the problem, either install the Oracle VirtualBox extension pack or disable USB 2.0 in the VM settings. What we're going to do is we're going to download the pack. We're going to open up the web browser, which hopefully you left it open. You're going to go back to where we downloaded VirtualBox. All right, so you see where it says VirtualBox extension. So this is why you really want to do these tutorials using current stuff, okay? So we can get the extensions right here. Going to go ahead and download the extension. Go back to the Oracle folder that we have at the top, and we'll save it, and then we'll show in folder. Same thing, we want to right click on this and we run it. Now sometimes it may say it won't install because you have to be administrator, so you just have to, in that situation, leave a comment. But you can just right click and run Oracle Box. Close Oracle Box, right click it and run it as an administrator. Once again, if you don't know how to do that, you probably shouldn't be doing this tutorial. You got a lot to learn. All right, so extension pack here, and there we go. So now we should be able to, 2 ways. Instead of right click, we just click the start button. That's really easy. And when this comes up, we will be running Kali Linux. There it is. That looks good. So everything looks good there. I'm gonna go ahead and minimize Chrome. Gotta close this. I don't need this anymore. And I'll minimize this. All right, looks like we got 2 windows open anyway. So I'll close that. And we'll let this start up. Now the way Oracle Box works is it's giving you a message saying it's capturing your mouse. Okay, so when you click in here, your mouse belongs to the virtual machine. So let me show you right here. Actually, you don't have to, but you see right control. It's talking about the right control key on your keyboard. So some operating systems or some things you do in the Oracle Box will, like, your mouse won't be able to go outside here. It'll be stuck. You just press the right control key, not right control, but the control key on the right side of the keyboard. It'll let it out. All right, so Kali and Kali. That is the password to log into a Kali Linux VM. Wow, that's really big. It's spanning like 2 or 3 screens. Let's get it over here. And we have successfully installed a Kali Linux virtual machine on our Windows computer. So I hope this video was super helpful, and I'm going to build on this next. So this is just the first part of the tutorial. So don't forget to drop a like on the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more tips, tutorials, and videos. Just basically, I'm giving you free education here in cybersecurity, and I'm giving you a realistic perspective. So don't forget to like the video if you're interested in those topics, and I'll see you on the next one.